Today we're at Blue Diamond Hill, just outside of Las Vegas on Highway 159. First of all, we're going to go up Fossil Ridge and then go down into Fossil Canyon. You can expect some spectacular views of the Rainbow Mountains today. You can see the Rainbow Mountains here. There are those colorful Jurassic frozen sand dunes on the west side of Red Rock Canyon, and we'll be taking a look at those as we continue to ascend Blue Diamond Hill. And we'll also see a lot of the different canyons over to the north. There's Red Rock Canyon, and then there's Calico Basin and Brownstone Basin. We're going to get a bird's eye view of all these areas. What you're looking at here is there is White Rock Mountain, and behind are the La Madre Mountains cliffs, ridgeline. Calico Hills over this way. Prominent mountain behind is Damsel Peak. And then coming back around to Blue Diamond Hill. So one thing about Blue Diamond Hill, well, there are a couple cool things about Blue Diamond Hill. One is that, yes, it's got spectacular views of the area. But another thing is that all these trails, there's a network of trails on Blue Diamond Hill that you can hike, bike, run. They're great conditioning trails with this great view. So anyway, a lot of people make these trails their daily workout trails. That's probably why these cars are here this morning. Anyway, yeah, parking area, very accessible, and then we'll show you where the canyons and ridges are on Blue Diamond Hill today. Okay, our first target is this ridge straight ahead. I have not taken this ridge before, so we're going to check it out. I think this might be Fossil Ridge. Maybe the next one over is Fossil Ridge. We don't know for sure, but we'll find out as we ascend. One thing I failed to mention earlier when I was talking about all the things you can do around Blue Diamond Hill was the obvious horseback riding. We are on a horse trail right now, and as far as I can see, the horseback riding is mostly around the base of Blue Diamond Hill. I haven't seen horses up on the hill, though that could definitely happen. Now, to give you an idea of the seasons, it is mid-March. We're going to go a little further west and catch the edge of Blue Diamond Hill up ahead. I was thinking we would ascend a ridge earlier, but no, let's head over to the western edge of Blue Diamond Hill and ascend the ridge there. Our first target is Fossil Ridge, straight ahead. Head up to the top of this ridge and then take a left along the ridge. From a distance, when you're driving along Highway 159, passing Blue Diamond Hill, you might actually miss it because it looks so barren, just another brown hill. But look at the amazing vegetation up in this area. We got yucca plants and a variety of cacti, Joshua trees, all along this area. Just beautiful. Okay, we've been ascending the Fossil Ridge Trail, and now we've got a choice. Continue up Fossil Ridge, which is the path to the right, or head down into Fossil Canyon. This is where we begin our canyons on Blue Diamond Hill. So I'm going to head down into Fossil Canyon and then ascend Fossil Canyon to its summit. And then here's a view of the area we're in. Continues to be very beautiful. And guess what? Here are some horses ascending the outer perimeter of Blue Diamond Hill. And we're looking toward the Calico Hills, Damsel Peak, Turtlehead Peak, the La Madre Mountains ridgeline, White Rock Hill, over to the Rainbow Mountains. And here you have Bridge Mountain, Juniper Peak, let's go back up to Bridge Mountain, get a little closer look. There you are. Rainbow Mountain. Mount Wilson. Indecision Peak. Let's get a look at those two or three. Indecision Peak. Mount Wilson. Rainbow Mountain. It's Mount Wilson. Good close look. Indecision Peak. Let's get really close there. There we go. And if you ever were wondering, where is Little Zion? I think I've nailed it here. It's in this high valley. I believe we're looking at Little Zion right there. You can see an adventure in Little Zion on LasVegasAreaTrails.com. Now, going back across the Rainbow Mountains, notice that there's a darker green brown ridge behind the mountains. This is the Rainbow Mountains upper crest ridgeline. Here's another section. And it spans the entire Rainbow Mountain range, only higher. And one thing that I've done is traveled along this upper ridge line. Eventually I'll be descending to the Rainbow Mountain peaks. Hope that happens soon. There's a little more of that ridge line. So it is possible and actually easier to descend to the Rainbow Mountain peaks than it is to ascend to those peaks from below. So you'll be seeing that on LasVegasAreaTrails.com. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, Rainbow Mountains, Fossil Ridge Trail, and the trail that heads down into Fossil Canyon. We're going to take the Fossil Canyon Trail as we begin to weave our way up and down the canyons of Blue Diamond Hill. As we continue to ascend the beautiful Fossil Canyon, let's just take a look around. Fossil Canyon Trail. This little trail continues to wind upward just below the Fossil Ridge Trail, which would be off to the right on the ridge above. So let's continue on up Fossil Canyon. And this is the main Fossil Canyon trail, the most distinct, that is just above the canyon base. Okay, here we are looking down Fossil Canyon from upper Fossil Canyon. And there's the very upper portion of Fossil Canyon. Yeah, I think I'm going to cross this ridge and then head down the next canyon. And here's something. See if I can zero in on the Pine Creek parking area in Red Rock Canyon. There you can see the cars glistening there in the parking area. And that's right at the base of Pine Creek Canyon. Continuing to ascend upper Fossil Canyon. And once we get to the top, we're going to navigate around 3 fingers. This is one of them. You can see on the map which is the first, second, and third. They're actually numbered. But we're going to navigate around the upper end of this and then down Echo Canyon. Here we are at the very top of Fossil Canyon, and there's a trail that leads up over this next ridge. It's one of the fingers, and this next canyon on the other side of this ridge should be Echo Canyon. We'll head down Echo Canyon. Now, if you wanted to take the fingers, you can actually head all the way down until you reach a kind of a peninsula, and then the trail loops around and comes back up. I don't believe there's a trail that goes down the end of at least this finger and the next one. The one after that, there is a trail, the Bone Shaker Trail. And if you're a mountain biker and you take that third finger over, head down, you'll be on the Bone Shaker Trail, and you'll find out why it's called that. Well, this is the upper base of that finger, that ridge that I was showing you a moment ago. And I descended down into a canyon. This canyon circles around and connects with Fossil Canyon on that side. We just came up Fossil Canyon. But if you head around this direction, and notice we have no trails here, I think it's going to descend Echo Canyon on the far side of that ridge we looked at a moment ago. No promises. Let's find out. Well, I think I'm still in an upper version of Fossil Canyon. Wow, look at these cacti and yucca plants. Just amazing. Huge. And here's looking down the canyon. And up here is that ridge I wanted to cross over and find the next canyon over. So still looking for that next canyon, but I just want to experience being in the canyon for a little bit. And wow, the scenery down here is just incredible. First fossils of today on this route, and this gray limestone, which is old sea bottom mud here around 4,000 feet or higher in elevation today, and embedded in this mud, you look carefully and you can see fossils, fossil shells. And these could be in the area of 450 million years old. We'll see more of this as we continue forward. Still looking for that next canyon over. Well, I may have jumped over Echo Canyon, and this may actually be Cowboy Canyon. Don't know for sure. We'll know as we descend if it is Cowboy Canyon or maybe it's Echo Canyon. Anyway, we're going to go down there, work our way down into the base of the canyon and just see what the terrain's like down there. And there's that ridge, or one of the ridges that we just crossed over. You can see the positioning of the Rainbow Mountains. Okay, here we are in the base of that canyon. It was an easy walk to get down here. Just looking for a point that was more gradual, a descent point. There's looking up the canyon. And here's the descent point. Seemed nice and gradual. Anyway, let's continue down this canyon. By the time we get to the bottom, we will have identified it. Or maybe we'll end up at a dry fall ledge and have to turn around. There might be a reason that there's no trail down here, because maybe it doesn't go through. We'll see. But what are the chances? Here's a little trail in that canyon. It's a good sign. Lets me know that it's going to continue on down further, which also means that this trail would have connected further up. So yeah, we missed that connection, but here we are on the trail, and maybe actually it didn't go all the way up to the summit of this canyon. We don't know. But let's continue downward. We're looking for fossils in the gray limestone, and also limestone is very porous, which is great for the creation of caves. And so we'll be watching for caves also as we continue down this canyon. Well, this little trail has been nice for a very brief period of time, but it looks like it's heading back up the ridge. And I don't want to go up there. I want to be down in the canyon. So I'm going to descend back down into the canyon, not too far, to descend to get at the base of the canyon. And here is that trail. That was nice for a little while. But yeah, I'm heading down into the canyon, and then let's see how far we can get. This might be Echo Canyon. I think as the walls get higher, we're probably looking at Cowboy Canyon below. I see a fork in the canyons. So it's just between this ridge in the foreground and the ridge in the background above. So let's continue down and see what the train looks like as we descend further. Getting just a little complicated, not much, but just a little complicated in places. Definitely not a straight walk, but actually not bad at all. This is looking up canyon. The walls around us. Heading downward, and yeah, looking for caves in these limestone walls on either side. Okay, developing a theory, this canyon I just came down may be Echo Canyon. And that next canyon over may be Cowboy Canyon. Of course, we don't know. We'll find out when we get to the bottom. But continuing down this nice canyon, and we'll see what we see. Well, what are the chances for this brief space? Here's a little trail. And looking up the canyon, a little more distinct in this direction. That's one thing about a network of canyons is when you're in that network, you don't always know where you are, but all I know is I head down. If I hit a barrier, it's all the way back up the canyon. Canyon walls definitely rising around us on all sides. I just came up to this vantage point for a little bit just to get a better perspective, heading back down to the base of the canyon where It seems to continue fairly level and gradual. As we continue down this canyon, I think I may have spotted a cave. I want to go up there and explore up on the walls up there. See if I can nail the location. There it is, maybe. Maybe not. Let's go up there, find out. Just came up this, not too hard, as long as you find the stairs. You can see the canyon going up and down the canyon I've been in. And here we are at the mouth of that little opening. We don't know if it's just a passage under some rocks or if it's actually the opening of a cave. Well, let's find out. Of course, we don't know what's in this cave. Could be spider, scorpion, snake, or even something larger like a mountain lion. We don't know. So we're just going to move in here very carefully. And in this case, looks like it doesn't go far back at all. It's just right here. Maybe a little further up, but we don't know. And I'm not seeing any or many signs of animals. This is something. It's like a pack rat. And then up here, another little pack rat area. Let's just go a little, and then up here, a little bit more. I don't see any signs of bats in this cave. It's more like a little opening. Yeah, this is about it. No amazing discovery here. At least nothing that one could get further into. It's just a small opening under the rocks. But there are a number of openings in these cliffs that go further back. Yeah, here we are at the opening, so nothing horribly significant. So let's head back down the canyon. I guess the point here is that in these cliff walls, if you look closely, there are any number of small openings. Some could lead to something. Others don't lead anywhere. There's one across the way. Some of them are easy to get to, like this one that I just entered. And who knows, it could have been something more significant. Others, you end up having to ascend the face of a cliff, and we're not prepared to do that. But let's continue down the canyon below, see what else we can find. Okay, looking back up, there was a ledge, and I guess I could have worked my way a little more to the left, and it looks like above that ledge, which is not a very difficult ledge actually, but above the ledge it looks like there could be more potential cave openings, but you can't see them from down here. And not having a target to shoot for, I decided just to come back down and resume the downward descent down this canyon. Okay, looking back upward, just one final look at this area above. There's the little opening I entered just a moment ago. And then as we're looking along that ledge, look at this, another potential opening. Interesting. And that ledge did not look too difficult. So I don't know. That could be another cave. It could be another just very narrow, shallow opening under the rocks. We don't know. If I get down to the bottom and find out this was indeed Cowboy Canyon, I'll come back up here in the future and check out that opening above. It doesn't look too hard to get to, that opening to the left. However, my best bet is that this is Echo Canyon. So we shall see. Depends on where it empties out. Continuing down this canyon that I believe is Echo Canyon, I see another canyon connection further ahead. And if that is another connection and another canyon to the right, you turn up that canyon, that would likely be Cowboy Canyon. And I know that there are some caves in Cowboy Canyon. But in the meantime, yeah, this has been a nice canyon to be heading down. Just looking at the walls here around us. Definitely impressive. And I think it's going to get more so as we descend. Okay, there's the canyon continuing downward. I have one rule here that I never descend anything that I cannot reascend, because who knows, I could hit a drop off below and have to come back up. And if I descended by jumping down a ledge I cannot reascend, I would be trapped between. So there is fortunately a gradual descent point here. There was a little above, there was about a 10-foot drop off that I bypassed on the right here, and I just came this far to get a look further down the canyon, and it's looking good so far. So let's head back over to what looks like a decent gradual descent right up ahead, and descend back down into the canyon, having bypassed that 10-foot ledge. Onward. And by the way, still combing the cliffs above for potential cave openings. That looks like a potential opening, but wow, getting up there also looks a bit of a challenge. So let's continue downward. And the worst that could happen is I'm gonna have to turn around and go all the way up to the top, and then I'll trace my way down Fossil Ridge to my start point. Just came down through this area. Not difficult at all, as long as you know where the stairs are. I still think this is Echo Canyon. And then looking down the canyon, looks like this is the tributary canyon to the next, which is a lot taller. I would almost guess that that next canyon around the corner here is going to be Cowboy Canyon. And hopefully we'll find a way to descend that does not involve having to head all the way back up this canyon. We'll find out soon. And then over this little hill, almost directly over. Now that looks like a cave opening if ever I saw one. That would be up on Cowboy Canyon. That may be one of the signature caves of Cowboy Canyon. But we don't know. In the meantime, we continue down what I believe is Echo Canyon. We'll be connecting soon with Cowboy Canyon. Hopefully we can get all the way to the bottom, but there's a chance that we may face that huge drop off that would cause us to have to turn around and head back up. Continuing down the canyon, but here's something. If I have to reascend, here's what looks like a nice approach to this ridge above. And I know the ridge is far more gradual. So yeah, if I have to come back this way, I'm heading up this hill up to the ridge above, and then taking the ridge over to the high point rather than this, which is a lot more complicated. So it's always good to know there are indeed multiple escape points. And as a side note, what looked like an adjoining canyon actually wasn't. It was just this canyon I'm in continuing to wind around. There is no adjoining canyon so far. Okay, continuing downward. And again, there is an exit point if I need to use it. And by the way, don't forget to look in this dark limestone that you're walking over for fossils. And let's see, I think I saw one down here. A lot of glare on this screen. Yeah, there we go. Here's the fossil shell embedded in the limestone sea bottom mud. Okay, let's continue down. So far, the way is wide open. Looks like we might be at that split in the canyons that I was thinking about earlier. And there's one that heads up in this direction. And then there's the canyon I just descended in this direction. So yes, very possible that we're looking at Echo Canyon on the right, Cowboy Canyon on the left, but we don't know. And in the meantime, here is another potential escape route if I need to head upward, catch the ridge above, rather than head all the way up this winding, complicated canyon that I just descended. And then let's look down. And it keeps descending in this direction. So yeah, we'll see how far we can get. Maybe there will be no barriers. Let's hope. Time to check in again after a couple more large bends in the canyon. Continuing downward and then looking around. And then back down the canyon. Let's continue. Time to check in again. This is looking up the canyon. And I do believe I'm in Cowboy Canyon now. Somehow we crossed over. Who knows when. But what I'm seeing down the canyon, up on the cliff walls above, I believe that is the marking of one of the caves. Not certain, but I know there's a lot of graffiti on that cave, or on the Cowboy Canyon cave at least. But we don't know for sure. Thought I heard some people up there. Didn't see anyone. So let's continue on down. Another thing, if that is the cave, and I see right up in this area a little more graffiti, and I hear people up there. If that is the cave, then there is a huge drop off ahead. They could turn me around. Let's head down a little bit more and see what we're dealing with. Here's that ledge, not horribly huge, but I tell you, wow, there is a little ladder, but definitely getting over the edge to that ladder is going to be fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot because that's the last barrier here. And here's the climber descending the ladder. A lot more comfortable than I. Look at that. Awesome. Okay, here's Eric going up the ladder. It seemed like it would be a big bad ladder, but when you're actually there, it's not so bad. It's just right there, getting over that hump. Awesome. Well done. Have fun. I will say, as far as this ladder goes, that if you have never been on the ladder and you're coming down the canyon like I did, you cannot see this ladder until you're right on top of it. And then there's just one tight spot there when you're getting onto the ladder that's a little bit unnerving, but actually it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. Okay, let's head down. Continue down what we know now as Cowboy Canyon. And those graffiti marks on the cliff walls were indeed the cave, or two of the caves that we were looking at that we know are here. Okay, down we go. And what I'll do in a future adventure is come back here, head up this ladder now that it's not so scary as it seemed before, and take a left up above, and there's a way up the canyon wall on the left side where you'll find the caves. They're marked by graffiti. I think I got a good shot of that on the way down. And now it's just a matter of winding downward through the canyon. The most difficult part is behind us, is the ladder and the ledge. Down to, you can see the horse corrals down below. And that's just below that is the parking area where we started. But look what I found. I just happened to glance up in this direction. Another cave. And this must be the Minden Cave. Anyway, that would be one to explore also, maybe on another trip up this canyon. And then here's looking up Cowboy Canyon. And then let's just complete the 360. Definitely high walls up here. Okay, down we go. Not having come up this stretch before. Yeah, it's not simple, at least if this is your first time heading down. Even below the ladder is not too simple. It looks like, yeah, the other side always looks more simple. But here we are on this side of the canyon. Let's continue on and see what's ahead. Well, that stretch took a little more weaving than it needed to. I think I took the most difficult part of this route down the canyon. I understand that there's a route which has a regular trail on the right side, coming down the middle, a lot of boulders. I came down, tried to come down the left side. I guess I did. And it worked. But yeah, I know I made it more difficult than it needed to be. So let's continue down. Back on the trail I should have been on in the first place. Yeah, not having been down or up this stretch before, I made it about the most difficult you can make it. Actually, this trail, let's trace it up, goes right up this area, hug the right side of the canyon, and make it a lot easier than I did, where I came down the center through all those boulders. It still worked, but was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. So hopefully now I'm on the trail. An actual trail is going to take me back down to the trailhead. Yeah, something I haven't seen all day is an actual trail. I've been in the canyons, navigating boulders and brush. Hasn't been too bad. There's never been a moment of real exposure. But yeah, looking back up, now I'm seeing something that I haven't seen before. Yes, Cowboy Canyon, right up here. But there's this other canyon over here, and that's probably Echo Canyon. Well, anyway, great experience of canyons and where the caves are. So let's continue on down Cowboy Canyon. Here we go. Okay, our learnings from this experience. When you're heading up Cowboy Canyon, you're going to take the canyon to the left. There's a split. The right split goes up Echo Canyon. The left split is Cowboy Canyon. And as you ascend Cowboy Canyon, you want to hug the upper right side. That's where you can avoid all the boulders in the middle of the canyon, which I did not do on the way down. And then you're going to come to the ladder. Head up the ladder. Just above the ladder, take a left turn up the left side of the canyon, and there you will find caves that are marked with a lot of graffiti, so you can't really miss them. And there's a cave on the right side before you get to the ladder, so just to be aware how things are laid out here. I didn't know coming down, I couldn't see ahead, which is why I ended up on the most difficult route. But there are two um, corrals. There's an upper corral and a lower corral at the trailhead. And so we're continuing on this trail past the upper corral and then on down to the lower corral and the trailhead. And here we are approaching the upper corral. And there you have the crew continuing down this road now below the corral. Yeah, definitely a lot more challenging coming down Cowboy Canyon than had I gone up Cowboy Canyon and was more familiar with that stretch. Could not see anything in front of me. It's always a leap of faith to go over the next ledge. And here's the lower corral. Upper Corral. We just passed through up the road. They actually have a bus that takes you from the lower area to the upper area. There's the Upper Corral. There's the bus. Pretty nice setup. Yeah, these horses must crave companionship just from standing here. They're all coming over to say hi. Looks almost like a Shetland pony here. And as we approach the trailhead, just a quick review of what we did. Definitely not what we'd planned, but we did go up Fossil Ridge and then descended into Fossil Canyon, took Fossil Canyon around, and I think jumped the gun. Thought I was going to head down Echo Canyon, but actually ended up heading all the way down Cowboy Canyon from the top to the bottom. And it was very good going until you hit the ledge with the ladder. And that wasn't really too hard. But below that ledge, curiously, I got off course and ended up in a huge boulder section in the canyon, which if I'd been on that stretch of Cowboy Canyon before, I would have avoided that boulder stretch by sticking on the way up, sticking to the right side. On the way down, it's the left side. That's where the trail is, below the ledge and the ladder. Anyway, here we are and have experienced Fossil Canyon and Cowboy Canyon and looked at a cave. Found the location of the larger caves. We'll return to check those out. And we're back at the trailhead. And there's Blue Diamond Hill. Fascinating canyons throughout Blue Diamond Hill. And we saw two of them today.